Simon, formerly known as Ice King, is depressed. The once insane ice wizard seems to have lost it all together. And this time it's so bad that even Finn can't save him. Let me explain.
The Big Dipper.
The second episode of the series explores Simon struggling with coming to terms with who he is. More specifically, who he was. Every day he wakes up and goes to a job he doesn't even like. Everywhere he goes, people are constantly reminding him of the fan fiction he wrote. His fan fiction is so famous all across the land of Oo that it's impossible for him to go out in public without someone making a reference to it. But Simon here doesn't want anything to do with his former self. During his 9 to 5, a little girl asks him, how does it feel to have ice powers? Basically showing interest in Ice King and not the man he currently is. Later on that day, he goes to drink his problems away. The bartender antagonizes Simon more by talking about the stories as well, saying how Simon should be proud of the Ice King's writing prowess, which in all fairness was pretty impressive. That dude was writing fan fiction while being completely insane. That's pretty impressive. But to Simon, his former self is like a wound that refuses to heal. He's reminded of his past all the time. The bartender even gets scolded for putting ice on his drink, since the ice is a painful reminder to Simon of the person who he once was. A person who abused penguins, was rude to princesses, and most of all, just loony. This is something that I think anyone wouldn't want to associate with. Anyone would be embarrassed if you looked them dead in the eyes and told them they did all those things. I think Simon's newfound depression is a metaphor for how people in general are never truly satisfied. He's now a human, no crown, no mental problems, but his former problems have been traded in for new ones. He fails to fit into society. He can't find meaning in society, and most importantly, he feels as though the people he cares about don't care about him. One of them is even missing in action. The other one is too busy having her own adventure time. This episode was eerie in the sense that it's awfully relatable. Back then, even though Simon was insane, he had fun, something that has become a foreign concept to him now. Almost every time Ice King was in an episode of Adventure Time, he was up to some crazy antics. Emphasis on crazy. Now he spends his time in a studio apartment trying to be a normal member of society. During the second act of the episode, Finn makes his debut appearance. We come to learn that Jake has now passed away. However, this hasn't affected Finn. Finn even has a tattoo to honor his best friend. I'm bringing this up to note how the two grieve differently. Finn lost an actual friend, someone he knew his entire life, while Simon is grieving his old identity. And this death of the Ice King has caused him to spiral and have an existential crisis. Finn can't really do much, and I think this is an accurate depiction of mental health. No matter how much someone may want to help you, as cliche as it may sound, you have to help yourself. Throughout the episode, Finn asks Simon if he's told Marceline about his sadness and his troubles. He says no. When he finally phones her, she's having the time of her life, and Simon feels bad. He feels like a burden. He doesn't want to be the dude who always tells everyone about how miserable his life is and in turn makes everyone else feel sad. What I inferred from this scene during the phone call is how every battle, especially mental, needs to be fought within and on your own. You can't rely on anyone to save you. At the very end of the episode, Simon comes to terms with who he used to be. He makes a decision to try and revisit the past and face it head on, and instead use Ice King's body of work, Fionna and Cake, as an outlet to alleviate his pain, grief, and suffering, which I think is an appropriate conclusion to the 25-minute runtime.